Hello again. This is my second video where I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're going to get information back and forth using the blogs. This is especially useful or important for those of you who may be used to using e-learning um, to understand that the flow of information is going to work a little bit differently on the blogs. So, let's see. So the course blog is where you'll go to get your assignments. Every week you'll look. The first week's assignment is here. I'll label the weeks. Next week, week 2, with the dates. Weeks again are running from Monday to Sunday night, with assignments generally due on Sunday night. So you'll come to the course blog. You can get here by typing visionarywomen.edublogs.org, or once you get your blog set up, there's a way to join a class. I explain about that in the information about setting up your own blog. Once you join a class, you will have a link to the course blog in your own blog, on the dashboard of your own blog. You'll understand that a little bit better once you really get into setting up your own blog. So you'd be able to go to your own blog and then sign in, and then you'd see the link to the course blog. Or if you bookmark this visionarywomen.edublogs.org on any of the computers that I use, if I type in a V, it just fills in Visionary Women, since that's such an unusual letter to start a website, relatively unusual to start a website with. Okay, so you get your assignment. Typically, um, the assignment will ask you to post something on your own blog. So this first week, you'll get your blog set up. Um, and then there's a post, there's a link here, where is it, that explains how to do a post. Here's a short video. I think this is a video from EduBlogs themselves. Let me see. Oh no, maybe it's one I did. If you have any problems doing that, let me know. Once you get your blog set up, you'll be sending me its URL, and I'll add your name to this list of blogs for this summer. So what I'll be able to do once you post something, in order to grade the student work, I'll click on your blog, and then I'll be able to see your work. If you click on your name here, what you can see when you click on your name, just here, for example, is the same thing I'll see. So when you click on this, on your own name, and see work, you know that I'll be able to see it as well. Now, of course, I don't want to be posting grades right on the blog, because your blog is public, and other people in the class will be able to see it. So grades I'll be putting on e-learning, but we will be able to use typically, so if that would be for small assignments. Say this first, I ask you to write a little bit about yourself as a writer. I call it a writer's autobiography. That's just a 5 or 10 point little assignment. Um, that kind of thing I'd grade and put the grade on e-learning. Now for the larger assignments, essay assignments, typically you'll go through at least 2 drafts. You'll do a rough draft um, that you'll post on your blog. You'll get some feedback on that rough draft, both from me and from at least one other person in the class, in the form of peer review. So typically, on the rough drafts are posted. Then the next week, there'll be a due date for the rough drafts for you to get it posted on your blog. Typically, I'll make peer review assignments that next week, and that'll be the week that I'll also be commenting on your blog. The peer reviews and the comments that I make on your rough drafts will appear on your blog as a comment. And again, I'll have some examples as we get further along. And then you'll have the comments to look at. You'll think about how you might want to revise the essay to clarify and reorganize and rework your sentences, whatever you want to do in revision. And then there'll be a date that a final draft will be due. I do suggest that students post final drafts on their blog as well so that they can archive the different versions of the essay. But final drafts, generally, I ask you in terms of grading purposes to email to me as a Word file or a PDF, depending um, on how I decide to grade things, and then that will exchange through email. So I'll be able to you'll email me a final draft of something, and then I'll if I'm using Word, generally I'll make comments using the comment feature in Word. I'll put the grade on that email draft. I'll save it with the grade on it and with comments, and then I'll email it back to you. Or if you send a PDF, I can use a PDF annotation tool to do the same thing. I may do some verbal um, commenting, um, uh, spoken word commenting. I haven't. I always mean to try that. Summer is a good time to try some things out, so we'll see about that. Those grades will be on the emailed version. The grade will be entered on to e-learning, so you'll be able to see that as well. Let's see, anything else about, that's basically how it's going to go. So you'll get the assignment, you'll post things on your blog. There may be occasions where I'll ask you to email me an assignment directly if it's something that, um, you know, the answers are going to be very similar, and I don't want, I want to make sure that it's your own thinking and not you just checked what somebody else had to say and say the same thing. You will. That brings up another issue connected to this public nature of blogs. So one of the reasons I like the blogs is that it opens up the class so that other students can see the work you've done, and you can see what other students are doing. And I think it makes people a little bit nervous often at the beginning of the semester, but generally as the semester goes on and people get more comfortable with the blogs, they really come to value the fact that they can see what other students are writing and that you can get some good ideas and some inspiration from what other people are saying. It also helps you to develop not exactly a thick skin, but at least the sense of being comfortable with your work being public. And that's an important part of college writing and of writing in the workplace. That sort of opening up your writing to a wider audience than just an instructor. This old idea of students doing their essays on paper and handing them to the instructor, and then the instructor scribbling, the little red marks that instructors like to scribble, and then handing it back to you. That's a really an outmoded sort of idea of what the writing process and what communication is like. So I think I'm hoping that the blogs will help you get used to a wider, more public audience, and then to appreciate what you can get by being able to see others' work as well. All right. There is a possibility to password protect particular blog entries. Generally, I'd like your work to be accessible to the rest of the class, but if there's something that's particularly sensitive, this tends to come up at the beginning of the semester. We're going to do a memoir as our first assignment, and that sometimes students pick topics that they feel uncomfortable, having it open to the whole internet. So if you have something like that where you're writing about something that is a little sensitive, or you're not really sure that you're ready to open it up to a wider audience, let me know and we'll see what we can work out. I have in the past let some students exchange memoirs with email, both with me and with maybe one or two other people in the class, so that it isn't open even to the whole class. But you do need to think about the public nature of writing and make sure that this whole blog setup is something that you're going to be able to deal with this summer. It's not universal in English 101 by any means, so there are many courses especially the online courses that are using e-learning, and it's a more private sort of writing experience. So if you have any concerns about privacy and the nature of the blogs, please shoot me an email and we can have a little discussion about that. Okay, I think that gives you an overview of what the workflow is going to look like. If you have any questions, you can put them as a comment to this post or send them to me in an email. If you have a question, there are probably other people that have that same question, so please just ask. Give yourself, especially if you're unfamiliar with blogs, it may take a week or so for you to really, or a week or two maybe, hopefully not longer than that. But it may take a week or two to get familiar with the way the blogs work. The assignments will be, we're sort of starting slow in terms of the importance of the assignments, starting off with some smaller assignments that don't have much of a consequence in terms of your grade, just to hopefully get everybody comfortable with the blogs. Okay, that's it. I hope to hear from everybody soon.